Would you now please welcome from Yakutat, the Mount St. Elias Dancers.
I thank Sealaska for inviting us here. Celebration 92. For the last 2 days, you have seen a lot of people here, sometimes imitating salmon, bear, birds of different types, eagles, raven, and we always had a tendency to write and compose songs about anything that was to our fancy or anything that did something outstanding. I was at a workshop in Ketchikan, and we were trying to solve the problem of ownership of songs and dances. And one of the requirements was that we were supposed to compose a song in 4 days. Well, we just didn't quite make it. But one of the ladies that was in our group didn't know it. She composed a song right on the spot. We were going to lunch break, and she was going to her car, and she said, "I'm going down to my chicken delight, chicken delight." So, but for Celebration 92, 500 years ago, there was another big celebration. They celebrated this year. 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean and did some other things. And everybody celebrates his Columbus Day. And I always say to myself, now who in the heck is Columbus? But I did some research on songs and different things, and the tribes had moved into the Yakutat area. And while I was studying the Tequedis migration up the coast to Yakutat, I was trying to find what time did they do it. As they were migrating up the coast, they stopped in Sitka. And they said, this mountain's name is going to be Tuk, meaning that fire comes out of this mountain. Tuk. They claimed the mountain, Mount Edgecombe. It was still spurting fire. So I found out by calling the Park Service, geologists said the last time that that mountain put dust out was 700 years ago. So give or take 100 years, that is the year that they migrated up the coast. And that was 200 years before Columbus. So I established that. I think the dancers are here someplace. I think they're ready to dance for you. They're here. In the olden days, you sang the outside song to announce that you were here. And so now you can hear the outside song announcing that Yakutat is here. We are proud of our heritage. And the song, we have the first two songs are going to be the songs that were won at a contest, exclusively Yakutat song. We call them the Yakutat blanket song, the incoming song, and the one we are going to do after this. Our group started in 1955, and we have some of the original dancers here. And the second song we would like to do is the blanket dance, and bringing these originals out here that dance. But what we're going to ask is that if you want to join in, stand up right where you're dancing. If you've ever done the blanket dance, go for it. In the olden days, when you were invited to a party, they seated you according to the houses you came from. And the master, the head man, as they call him now, they call him chief. But when the food was given out, they would fill up the bowl. You think, he says, you talk, eat there, whoever was the head master. And he had to get up and dance around that dish. So this time we'd like to do for you around the dish dance. Well, we did the dance, I will give you the goodies. At this time, we would like to call on Jerry Mack.
The Yakutat group requested that through my office to do a citation honoring the memory of Harold Buddy Bremner, who was their leader of this group, who passed away this year. At their request, we did this citation, which was approved unanimously by the House and Senate of the Alaska Legislature, and I'll read that for you. In memoriam, Harold Buddy Bremner. The members of the 17th Alaska Legislature honor the memory of Harold Buddy Bremner of Yakutat. For many young people, Buddy was the man who taught them singing, drumming, and dancing of their culture. Mr. Bremner was born November 18, 1927, to the late Harry K. and Helen I. Bremner of Yakutat. He is of the Kagwantan clan and Eagle tribe. He danced with the Mount St. Elias dancers for over 40 years. Harry Bremner, his father, was renowned for his skill as a Tlingit dancer and as a teacher of native dance. He was an annual favorite for people around the state who regularly attended the Festival of Alaska Native Arts. Sadly, Buddy Bremner danced his last dance at the Native Arts Festival falling to his death on the stage directly before the admiring audience. Buddy proudly accepted the legacy of his father, that of teacher and Tlingit dancer, and chose to continue in his father's footsteps. He became a song leader for the Mount St. Elias dancers and one of the 5 chiefs. Most importantly, Buddy chose to become a teacher of the young Mount St. Elias dancers that you see here now. He instructed the students in the traditional song and dance of their culture up until his death. For many of the young people, this was the only formal teaching they received in matters of their own heritage. The Yakutat Indian Education Program is now strong and thriving due to the efforts of a few like Buddy, who never abandoned their mission of instructing the young people in the ways of the old. Buddy was also active in the Alaska Native Brotherhood Camp number 13 and American Legion Post number 31. He participated in the local Tlingit and Haida Central Council. Earlier in his life, he was a commercial fisherman. Visitors to Yakutat will remember him as the postmaster for many years. Buddy's passing was particularly painful for the young. He was their mentor, their teacher, their counselor, and their friend, and he will be missed. The members of the 17th Alaska Legislature extend its deepest condolences to the family and friends of a man whose life will continue in the hearts and minds of those who loved him and learned from him. The citation was sponsored by Representative Mackey, signed Ben Grusendorf, Speaker of the House, Richard Elias, President of the Senate, May 9, 1992.
In the days of long ago, when our canoes started down or went on a conflict with another tribe, each canoe had its own name. And on this canoe, each man was assigned a place where he was going to paddle from. When the canoes are coming back, if anything happened to the man, they stood his paddle in his place, and the wives and the families could see while the boats are way out. If there's a paddle standing up, they knew whose place it was. It was a sad thing if a lot of people were killed from that canoe and they had to tow it back. But the paddles was always what we used. And so in this paddle song, we would like to stand the paddle as James Bremner, who is holding it here, in place of Buddy Bremner, who is our drummer. James, son of Harold Bremner, Kathy, and his little boy. That is 4 generations of Bremners who have danced. And so now we would like to do for you the paddle song and dedicate it to in the way of Buddy Bremner. Gook. Okay. As I said a while ago, they composed songs to the different animal and gene. So it happened one day that an uncle and his nephew were walking along the beach, and the uncle was up on the tide line doing something, and his nephew, the boy, went down by the rocks there, and he was laying on top of a big rock, just looking up, enjoying the day. And coming down the shoreline was his group of little crows, a flight of little crows coming down. And as they were coming down, they started circling right above him, going round and round like that. And as he was watching them, he could hear a song that these little crows were singing. And the song is interpreted that the little crow enjoys himself so much when it's low tide that he can see all of this food spread out before him. There's mussels, gumboots, clam, all of these things. And so this is the song they were singing. And in a way, I guess that is our world of subsistence also. So with that, we'd like to do for you the little crows on the beach. I think I've been outranked again.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say thank you to the Heritage Foundation for inviting the Mount St. Elias dancers. I guess you notice that I'm sort of taking a rest. I think I'm at that age where I let my nephew take over. George? He's taken my place already. Dad khatu what? Aka takashustin ucha khashan khakudak kagudi de tetin nasla yuch tutinuch hatakun gunas cheese sausate. Yeah, Heritage Foundation khatso tu khat kawaha Ross Sobolov, I'm glad he thought of me as one of the elders advisory committee. You know, I don't talk in public too much anymore because sometimes I think people are tired of listening to me. Thank you anyway.
I forgot to explain the second part of that is the little crow is very sad when the tide is coming up. He cannot see the food anymore, or he's really sad. But I was talking about subsistence. It's our way of life. We have fought many battles, some with the Russians and drove the Russians out. I know we drove them out because they sold it. They couldn't stand it. But then sometimes I think it's just like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, because the condition we have now, all of our land is gone. But subsistence. I had a big argument with a lawyer at one time on subsistence. And he was telling me why, and we should do this and that. And I told him at that time, well, I will give up subsistence. I will ask all my brothers to give up killing seal, deer, bear, fish, whatever. And I will ask my brothers from the north to give up whale, walrus. No, Yukon people to give up moose meat, providing they quit killing their chickens, pigs, beef, and all of that. Yesterday morning, I had the privilege to go down to McDonald's and eat. And I see that they're still killing the chickens and they're killing the pigs and the cows, So I think the whole deal is off. But we still believe. And the deal we have now is that a lot of our land is gone. They have told us, well, during the land settlement, we're going to give you so many acres of land, providing that you do not improve it. If you improve it, we're going to tax it and take it away. So that's the deal we made. But we would like to bring you, at this time, our song that was danced for the Yakutat blanket. And I think I'm running out of time, but I'd say that it's the Northern Light Spirit Dance. We believe they are the spirits of people who have committed suicide, and we'd like to do it for you one more time. Thank you.
Yes.
I think we ran out of time. This is what happens when they put you on a time limit. We had a couple more dances, but then they told us our time's up, so we'll see you next time. We just have to walk off the stage. Thank you very much.